Final Merits Determination. In the second step of the analysis, the officer should consider the petition in its entirety to determine eligibility according to the standard. To establish eligibility, the petition must demonstrate that the person has sustained national or international acclaim, and that their achievements have been recognized in the field of expertise, indicating that the person is one of that small percentage who has risen to the very top of the field of endeavor. The officer applies a preponderance of the evidence standard when making this determination. An officer may not limit the kind of evidence the officer thinks the person should be able to submit, and deny the petition if that particular type of evidence, whether one of the prescribed types or comparable evidence, is absent, if the person nonetheless submitted other types of evidence that meet the regulatory requirements for the classification. For example, an officer may think that if a person is extraordinary, there should be published articles about the person and the person's work. However, an officer cannot deny the petition because no published articles were submitted, so long as the petitioner has submitted other evidence that meets the 3 qualifying criteria, which demonstrates the person is in fact extraordinary. Approval or denial of a petition is based on the type and quality of evidence submitted, rather than assumptions about the failure to address different criteria. At this step, officers consider any potentially relevant evidence in the record, even if such evidence does not fit one of the above regulatory criteria or was not presented as comparable evidence. The officers consider all evidence in the totality. Some evidence may weigh more favorably on its own, while other evidence is more persuasive when viewed with other evidence. The following are examples of situations where evidence in the record may help officers evaluate the quality of the initial or comparable evidence and determine whether in a totality analysis that considers all of the evidence, the person is among the small percentage at the top of the field and has sustained national or international acclaim. The record demonstrates that the person has published articles in particularly highly ranked journals, including published conference proceedings, relative to other journals in the field, as demonstrated by, for example, evidence the petitioner provides regarding the journal's impact factor, depending on the level of recognition of the journals in question. As demonstrated by evidence in the record, there may be particular prestige or acclaim associated with publication in such journals,